This is Faith Break, a podcast about recognizing God moments in our everyday lives, with hosts Karen Luke and Ann Gallagher. This week, Karen and Ann reflect on the raising of Lazarus, the graves we need God to open in our own lives, and how the things that break our hearts can also open our hearts to deeper love and compassion.
Hi, welcome to Faith Break. I'm Karen Luke.
And I'm Ann Gallagher.
And we are friends, ministers, wives,
moms, coworkers,
everything. Mm-hmm. And we are here to enlighten you, we think, about the weekend mass readings. We are in week 5 of Lent this time.
Hard to believe. But here we are.
Yep. And we like to find little God moments throughout our day to help you realize that God is everywhere all the time, even in seasons of craziness and chaos and love and light. So welcome.
Welcome, Karen.
Welcome,
here we are
Ed.
again.
So just a little bit. We haven't seen each other in a week.
10 days. It's crazy.
This is the first
We're
time
going to try to keep the podcast about the podcast and not everything else we would be normally catching up on at this time.
We'll do that later. But
we're just both getting back from a week of vacation. So
we're talking about season of opening.
Because we have the opening in the first reading today from Ezekiel. We have God promising to open our graves and have us rise from them, to put a new spirit of life in us so that we may live. And then the gospel, it's one of my favorite gospel readings. One of mine too. We have the raising of Lazarus. Yeah. So the whole story about Jesus with Martha and Mary and Lazarus raising him from the dead. There's so much to unpack this week.
So much. So excited.
Yeah. So our theme today for all the seasons of life is the season of opening. Yeah. So the opening of the graves, the opening of our hearts, as we continue to change our hearts this Lent. But should we start with God moments?
Yeah. Okay. So why don't you start with your God moment? I mean, I'm sure you have a lot since you actually went away for vacation.
I do, but actually today, I'm going to save that one. I have a God moment vacation related, but I'm going to save it for next week. But maybe anyway, next time. And my God moment today is it was a moment of gratitude for my spiritual director, because I have a spiritual director who I meet with once a month, and we talk. She helps me figure out where God is moving in my prayer. And I met with her yesterday, and it was just a very graced time and a sacred space. So my God moment today is gratitude for her and for she's been in my life for over 20 years. So it's just really, the depth of that. And it gave me encouragement that I needed for my spiritual walk this Lent.
Awesome.
So how about you?
Mine is, I was driving down the road and it had just snowed, but it was like the thick, watery snow. And all the trees were just coated. And it was just a moment of awe.
We've had such a pretty winter.
We have. So that was I know everyone's like, oh, it's so cold.
I don't have that.
But it was just the sun was shining and it just hit right. And it was just really beautiful. And I was like, okay.
I'm going to go home and make some soup tonight.
Oh, that's a great idea.
I'm going to make some soup. It's going to be just cozy and
a cozy night in.
Well, no, I have to go out for a youth group.
Oh, that's right.
Before I do that, I'm going to make soup.
Welcome back.
I know. Yeah. This is how the life of a youth minister goes. But that's a joy too. So that's not
absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Should we dive into the fifth week of Lent?
Let's dive in.
So, okay. We're going to talk about the gospel because that's the bulk of it. But just to kind of
tie in
the first reading a little bit. This reading from Ezekiel, I don't think it comes up it must come up every year A. Fifth week of Lent for year A, but we don't read from Ezekiel all that much in the lectionary. And it's a lovely little passage. And it just got me thinking, God says, "Oh, my people, I will open your graves and have you rise from them and bring you back to the land of Israel. Then you will know that I am the Lord. And I will put my spirit in you that you may live, and I will settle you upon your land, and you shall know that I am the Lord." And it's just like, I have promised and I will do it, says the Lord. We talk about that promise a lot too. Like, so you see, like this promise that God gives us for new life and to bring us out of the whatever tombs we are living in our lives right now, that God will call us out of them and bring us new life. And that whatever we're dealing with right now is not the end. You know, I mean,
are we sure? No,
it's yeah. Well, I think that's just like the hope in that, right? And the needing to trust in God's promise, even when we can't see. We talk about that all the time, even when we can't see how it's going to happen. You know, so one of the questions we were thinking about was, well, how do you need new life, and how do you need God's Spirit to bring you new life in your life right now? And I just, I don't know. It's in this place where we are right now in our lives, I think it can be really hard to see anything outside of the daily grind.
Sure.
You know, because our days are so full with work responsibilities and family responsibilities and, you know, all the challenges and joys that come with that. But like, God wants to do something new.
Yeah.
I know. And how to be open to that.
Yeah. In a way, I'm so ready for this newness.
I know.
I'm just like, oh my gosh, when? And then I look around my house and I was like, yeah, I could totally go for something new.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, the work that goes into it. And that's what, like, it's that comfortability. And we've talked about it before, but it's that comfortability of like, I want to change and I want to do this, but I don't know how much energy I have to put into working toward it.
You know, and maybe it's not a grand plan, right? Like this whole idea of changing our hearts this Lent. People all the time, I see it, and I've done it myself. They dive into Lent with a you know, just a grand scheme of the project of their self-improvement that they're going to do during Lent.
No sugar, no carbs, no candy.
And it's not, but all God wants us to do is like show up and open our hearts.
Yeah.
That's it. Like just show up. So like, it's let him change it. Not that we have to necessarily.
Sure. Right. I know.
You know,
but it's also that humanity part, like the human part of needing that control. Yeah. There was a really funny Instagram video I saw the other day, and it was, there was a guy and it said God. And he's like, okay, so this is how we do it. And he had like flour and butter, and he starts to make like a circle in the flour, and it goes to this other guy. He's like, and then it says me. And he's like, no, God, no, we don't do it that way. We're going to do it this way. And God's like, I don't want it this way. Mm-hmm. But this is how we're going to do it.
This is how we've always done it.
It's like this back and forth. And I was watching this video and I was like, that is so me. That is so
me too.
Me.
All
and
of
us. This Lent, all I want to do is just say, okay,
take it.
But for some reason, I can't let that. Wow. Does anybody else feel that way?
Yes.
Or is it just me? Because I feel sometimes like it's just me. But
no, and I think that's a midlife thing too. Like I just feel like I want a midlife reset, but I don't really want anything to change, but I want everything to change, but I don't want anything to change.
You don't want to deal with
like it's
like I seriously could totally sell my house and move to the Adirondacks.
No.
Yes, it'd be like
not without me.
Oh, that would be my reset. Just give me. Anyway, okay, let's move on to. Well, all right. I shouldn't say move on because it really does tie in, which is funny because going back to the first reading,
right?
God says, "I will do this for you."
Yeah.
And I promise this for you.
And I will do it.
I said it and I would do it. And then we get to Lazarus.
Oh, this story, it just cracks my heart open every time.
And Lazarus' sisters are like,
if you had been here.
If you had been here. Mm-hmm. And I deep dive in search of things of like, what does this really mean? And just to get a different perspective. And one of the things that I had read was like, the way she says it, if you had been here, it's like she says, I trust you, but I don't understand you.
Right.
It's not. You could have done this.
And you didn't. Why?
And you didn't. Why?
Right.
Like, I trust that it's going to be okay because I have faith, but I still don't understand it. And how.
Yeah.
It's like.
Because it's just the text is so clear that like they send word.
Yeah.
to Jesus when Lazarus is ill.
And all of his disciples are like, let's go.
Right.
And Jesus is like,
right.
No.
And like he says, this illness will not end in death, but it is for the glory of God. And then the text says, now Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. And so when he heard that he was ill, he stayed for 2 days in the place where he was.
Yeah.
Because he loved them, he didn't go, is what the text says. And we can't
fathom that.
Fathom it.
No, because as soon as we get a call about anything,
we're off.
Mm-hmm. There is no waiting.
Right.
And that wait that if we do have to wait and that we are in, because we've all had that.
Yep.
It's like, it just feels like eternity.
Yeah.
I can't imagine 2 days.
Right.
And then that waiting.
And then he had the journey. So, by the time Jesus gets to the tomb, he's already been in the tomb for 4 days. So it took him like
2 days to get there.
Yeah, or longer.
2 days.
Who knows how long that, right.
Yeah.
But
the way he walked, he probably got there faster.
Oh, jeez. And the different ways that the sisters act too, because we see this all the time in the other stories about Martha and Mary, that like Martha's the doer and Mary is the contemplative one. And so like Mary waits at home for Jesus to show up. She waits and she stays and she waits. And Martha, she runs ahead and meets him on the road and is like, where were you?
Yeah.
If you had been here. And like all the emotion in that. Mm-hmm. But like there's got to be anger, disappointment, like frustration, like her grief.
Yeah.
It's such a heavy,
but he says to her, he doesn't correct her. He doesn't say, no, I told you, you know what's going to happen. All he says is wait.
Yep.
And it's that hopefulness. It's that wonderment. It's that awe. And, they, going back to like, I trust you, but I don't understand you. What an honest prayer.
Right.
That is.
And she says like, even now, now I know you can fix it.
Right.
Even now. Gosh, I mean, when we've sat with people in grief and when we've sat in grief ourselves, that that where was God in that? I'm thinking of mothers who have lost their children that we've sat with, and just even losing my own mom this year. And like this reading is actually, this 5th Sunday of Lent is the 6-month anniversary of her death day. So it's like, this feels really heavy to me too. But it's just like that presence, that gift of presence we give people in the loss. And even when we can't fix it, and when we see Jesus, he's postponed going because he knows he's going to do this sign. He's going to, he knows he's going to raise Lazarus from the dead. This was the plan.
And this is like the big one where more people
no turning back from here.
Yeah.
Right.
This was like, this was the first miracle actually that a lot of people got to witness.
It was the inciting one that led directly to his death. Right. Because we've seen all through Lent, he keeps breaking the boundaries. He's curing on the Sabbath. He's in relationship and conversation and presence with people he should not be talking to. Right. He's like, he is,
But this had a whole crew of people that saw it from beginning to end. And that's when it started to be like.
Yeah, everybody knew Lazarus had been in the tomb for 4 days, and everybody knew he was risen. And, but even though he knew this was part of the plan, he still weeps at the tomb of Lazarus, right? Like and I just think that's so profound, because even when we know God can turn our suffering to good, and the resurrection is coming and Easter is on the way, like we know these things, but it doesn't, like the cross is still real and the tomb is still real. And like, so it's like our faith just holds those two things in conversation always in the Paschal mystery.
Yeah.
You know, he felt it. His grief was real, as real as Mary's and Martha's were.
You know, what's interesting too is, you know, we talk about if you had been here, you know, Martha's talking about physically.
Right.
And I'm just thinking of the losses that I've had in my life. And when people ask, like, oh, where was God during this? And for me, because of my faith, it pushed me deeper into my faith than it did pull me away from it. And I know it's not that for everybody. I understand that. But like, the question was never like, yes, I was mad. Yes, I was upset. But I was still had this peace.
Right.
And having my family gathered around me and bringing us together in a different way than who we were before has changed us. So like not only, you know, we're talking about the season of opening and changing, but when anything like that happens, we're changed. And it requires that courage because our lives are disruptive. They're disrupted.
Right.
And when lives are disrupted, that's when it feels this chaos and craziness. But in the midst, there's that courage.
Right.
And hope.
Yeah. It's just I love thinking about Jesus with Martha and Mary and Lazarus because like we don't know the origin of his relationship with them, but it's clear that they're like family, like that they have a closeness and an intimacy that, you know, and they like, it seems that they have a familiarity that, you know, goes deeper or longer than even with his disciples, right? That they're somehow very closely connected to him. And just how personal the death of Lazarus was and the raising of Lazarus was for Jesus. And how even though, you know, in the Gospel of John, especially as he walks toward Holy Week, he's, you know, in control. He's intentional about all these things, even though he knows where it's going to end him up and where he's going to end up. But like the humanity of him too, in that moment of weeping, even as he's about to do the most divine thing he has yet done, like it's just
you know, if that was any other person, you know, in our lives today, you know, I'm seeing this person come up and be like, it's fine, don't worry, I got it, and
that's not what this is.
That's not what this is. You know, like he knows what he's going to do, but he's still grieving with them. He doesn't have this like pompous attitude like, oh, and I could come anytime and it would have been fine. You know, that's what I love about Jesus is that his humanity and everything that he does comes through first. Then the divinity comes.
Right. Yeah.
Even though
interesting.
It's both. But like every time the fact that
that's interesting. You're saying he leads what we perceive.
I perceive it
is we see the humanity first, and then we understand the divinity behind it. Thank you. Give me a lot to think about. Okay.
And for me, for that, it gives me a closer relationship to Jesus. It's not Jesus is here and I'm here, because I feel that he leads through his humanity, that we're on this like even thing, but he's capable of more.
Grounded in his divinity.
Grounded in his divinity.
That's so interesting. Yeah, and I think to the when we deal with like suffering and grief, we've talked before, especially in Lent, that the choice to like cling or to let go, and what we need to let go of, you know, the things we need to let die in order for new things to grow. I mean, this story is taking that and just like packaging it up in like a really intense way. But like it was when my mom had a week in hospice before she died. And I I wish it had been a decision I had the courage to make sooner, or the information to make sooner, because it was like once we let go of the idea of, getting her better, it created this whole space for beauty and presence in a way that, we had been fighting before.
Yeah.
But once we stopped fighting, just like, everybody showed up to say their goodbyes, and everybody was present, and everybody wept, but we had each other, and it was beautiful. And I just see this in Jesus, this whole Lenten journey.
Yeah.
He's modeling not clinging. He lets, he sets aside one thing after another after another. It starts way back in Lent week 1 with the desert. And yeah, so we're heading into Holy Week soon, and things are just going to, progress from here. But yeah, our readings today are all about coming out of the tomb, right? So sometimes when we open our hearts, they get broken, or sometimes when our hearts are broken, they're opened.
Yeah.
And it creates space for the Spirit to come in and move and do something new.
Yeah. When I was researching, or looking into this and praying on it, I came across this statement, or I don't even think it's a quote from anything, but it's not attributed to anybody in particular, but I thought it was really interesting. Resurrection is not a solo event. Sometimes we come out of our tombs still tangled in our old patterns, still carrying shame, still learning how to walk in the light. And we need people who will help unwrap us gently.
Oh, we can come out. God can call us out of our tombs, but we're still tangled in the burial cloths.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, I just love that.
We need someone who will
unwrap us gently. You're my unwrapping gently.
I love you. Do you ever think what it was like for Lazarus after all this, though?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, he's probably like, what the heck just happened?
People, there's scenes we don't get in the Bible, is what I'm saying. But
if you watch Chosen,
I haven't actually gotten to this part of Chosen. Yes.
Are you serious?
No. I'm going to do it. I know.
Okay, every scene is my favorite scene, but this.
I stopped before this because I knew it was going to be.
Oh my gosh.
I was saving it.
I think we need to have a watch party.
Yeah, okay. Let's do that.
Because I tried to go back and watch some of them, and it just keeps spinning. So I don't know if there's something wrong with rewatching them or whatnot. But this scene in The Chosen was one of the coolest scenes. And I love them all. But he comes out, and he's just like... and he's still wrapped. He's just like,
oh my gosh.
He's like shuffling because his feet are wrapped, right?
Yeah.
And finally they get unwrapped him, but everyone is like, because the stench.
It's going to smell, right?
Right? And finally, the way that Lazarus looks at Jesus and the way that Jesus looks at Lazarus, and they embrace, and it's just like...
Okay, I need to watch that.
You need to watch it.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's what, and The Chosen is totally taken with a grain of salt.
Well,
right.
It's creative.
It's creative publicity, or not publicity.
But he had a whole life, is my point.
Right.
A whole life after this.
Yeah.
Presumably.
Right.
And then another death, which is what...
Oh, he died twice. Oh,
right.
Oh, because I never thought about that.
It's not like the resurrection into heaven. It.
Do you think his second death? He's like, oh, here we go again. I
know, right?
Sorry,
this doesn't scare me anymore,
gosh.
Right? It doesn't scare me.
Okay, but then there's another point to it. He already embraced it once.
Here we go again.
And the scaring of it, it is. Oh, okay. I never thought about the afterwards of that.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
I have so many questions about this family. I just wish I could hang out with them and ask them a bunch of questions. Yeah. And,
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
I have one very minor thing I noticed this time reading it that I want to shout out.
Absolutely.
And it has to do with Thomas, doubting Thomas, we always talk about. But there's just one little line hidden in this gospel that I want everybody to perk their ears for
because
this week.
I don't know what you're going to say.
So when they receive the Jesus receives word that Lazarus has died.
Oh, say okay.
And that he's like, this isn't. Jesus says to us, I'm glad I wasn't there when he died so that you might believe. He's telling them. Mm-hmm. And Thomas says, then let's go die with Jesus. It's like, so we always say Thomas doubted, but in this passage, it seems like Thomas was kind of the only one who understood why Jesus was doing what he was doing and was brave enough to go with him, understanding the implications.
Oh.
Of how dangerous it was. I had never gotten that before from reading this.
Huh.
Yeah.
Read that again. What did he say?
Okay, so Jesus says, our friend Lazarus is asleep and I'm going to awaken him. And the disciples say, if he's asleep, we can save him. But Jesus was talking about his death. Well, they thought he meant ordinary sleep. So Jesus said to them clearly, Lazarus has died, and I am glad for you that I was not there so that you may believe. Let us go to him. So Thomas, called Didymus, said to his fellow disciples, let us also go to die with him. I'm just saying. Sometimes we're a little unfair when we think about people, we talk about doubting Thomas, but he wasn't a doubter, really.
I think the whole doubting Thomas thing is more FOMO.
Right?
Fear of missing out.
Okay, yeah.
Like, now that we have that phrase. Wait, we didn't
He might not have put it that way.
But. He might. But maybe he was just like, well, I didn't get to see it because I wasn't there. And I always wondered about that. Where the heck was he? He was the only one that wasn't there. Like, what was he doing? Yeah, right. But that's a whole nother story.
We talked about that last year, I think, when we had him, when we were talking about, maybe he was the only one who was out he's getting groceries. He was the only one brave enough to leave the upper room, maybe. I don't know.
That's true, too. Okay.
That was my little sidebar to redeem Thomas from everybody's judgment.
Perk that up.
But okay, yeah. So I think we said a lot today about the opening of graves in this 5th week of Lent. And
so honest prayer, change, the courage,
letting go.
Maybe you don't need to be unwrapped, but maybe you know somebody who needs to. Yeah. And you can
gently unwrap
them. Mm-hmm. This is a great time to invite people to our services.
Yes.
I mean, Holy Week, it's one of my favorites. It just is a plethora of symbolism and beauty.
Yep. Yeah.
So,
all right. I think that's it for me today.
Yeah, I think we did really good.
Thanks for coming on this journey with us, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Thanks.
We'll see you next time. And next week we have a special guest. Yes. We're being joined by our pastor, Father Rob, is going to get us started on Holy Week.
Yes.
So next week will be one not to miss.
Definitely.
All right. Thanks,
bye.
everyone. See you next time.
Thanks for taking a faith break with us today. Karen Luke and Ann Gallagher are lay ministers with the parishes of St. Catherine of Siena in Mendon, New York, and Church of the Transfiguration in Pittsford, New York. More about our parishes, including weekly live-streamed Sunday Mass, can be found at pittsfordmendoncatholic.org. Faith Break is engineered by Jeff Beckett. Join us for new episodes of Faith Break, each week in studio on YouTube or on your favorite audio podcast or music app.